This is not going to work out the way the Democrats think it is. So, guys, obviously you all know, yesterday, President Biden announced that he was dropping out of the 2024 elections. That is not a good thing or a bad thing. When it happened, I was just like, whatever, big deal, not a surprise either. But now the Democratic Party is getting desperate. Now the Democratic Party is looking for who's going to run. Supposedly, Kamala Harris Saturday, was calling around for donations. Now, obviously, if she was doing that, she got the nod ahead of time to start making plans to run for president for 2024. Now, I think for whatever purposes, this is going to be more of a political stunt because I think something bad is coming down the pike, but politically, they're going to make her the first black woman to run for president in the United States because that's all they want. She was already the first black female vice president. They just want her to be the first or whatever. She is not going to win. She did bad in the polls against Trump. And some people will say, well, those polls don't mean anything. Nobody is going to vote for somebody who was pretty much absent her entire time as vice president. Politically, they're going to look at him like, well, where was this bitch? Who was she, sucking dick in the fucking in alleyways? In the Oval Office? What was she doing? She hasn't done anything. She done a couple of speeches, and if you listen to her speeches, guys, I don't know if she's speaking code or she's as confused as Biden. But the things she says, like she's trying to sound so smart and elegant, the phrases she uses, like she goes, and when the sun rises, the rainbow will appear. What the fuck does that even mean? We're talking about the border, and she's talking about rainbows and shit. Like, that's the kind of shit she's talking on the speeches. That shall pass, and then the hobbits will win. You're like, what? This is the kind of shit she's talking about. And I'm exaggerating, but you get my point. She's no better. She's dumber than a box of rocks. It's not looking good for her. Now, who can the Democrats actually put in play? They don't have anybody. They had 4 people, and I didn't know any of them. And I think 2 of them are like super young, but it doesn't matter. Nobody is going to be able to go against Trump. They can't. It's too late. It's July, the middle of July at that. To all of a sudden, guys, ramp up somebody else's campaign, which they're going to try with Kamala Harris, but then after that, who else? Now, certain people are not nodding. Obama gave he gave something away. And I don't know how I feel about that, but he's not endorsing Harris, but he states that the Democratic Party will pick somebody trustworthy or good or something like that. And when he said that, it was like as if he knew they're not picking her, they're picking somebody else, and they're going to surprise us with somebody else. Now, doesn't matter who they surprise us with, right now they cannot beat Trump. They can't. Unless they go really young and somebody who's young, radical, and for the Democratic Party, even then, this guy coming out of the woodworks with no past that we know of, I mean, they're going to give us his past, his pedigree, the whole 9 yards. But still, this person, whoever it is, and even Kamala Harris, cannot beat Trump. They just can't. It's virtually impossible. Now, will it put their name on the map for the next election? Probably so. Maybe that's what they're lining up for, because that's all they can do. But they can also do something else. They can definitely go heavy-handed, blatant, and take the election for themselves. But if they do that, I'm a little curious as to is anything going to happen. Is the right, conservative Republicans, are we going to react and do something about it? Or are we going to take there and take it up the fucking ass like we did the last time? So I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in the conservative, Republican, right-leaning parties anymore because we saw what happened when the first election was taken and nothing was really done. J6 was stupid. I don't know. I'm just not convinced anything's really going to happen. I hope, I have my fingers crossed, I got fucking candles lit, that something would happen if they tried this time around, because it would be really blatant now. I mean, people around the world would be like, yo, that's impossible for Trump to lose. And if he loses, it's an impossibility. And if an impossibility happens, something's got to happen behind that. Right? I mean, we got to take it to the streets. We got to do something. We can't just sit idly by and be like, oh, you know, they won fair and square. No. Not at all. Anyway, guys, again, politically, the Democratic Party is done. And they're probably going after each other right now as we speak. There are people trying to prop themselves up and be like, well, pick me, no, not that person. They're going to start stabbing each other in the back probably this week. We're going to see some heavy backstabbing this week amongst the Democrats, big time. People are going to try to step forward, and they're going to be threats and all kinds of nonsense going on. So this is not looking good for the Democratic Party. It hasn't looked good for them in years. And right now, as we speak, they are falling apart. So I like to see where this is going to go. This is not going to work out for the Democrats, but if they do something there are two things that I think they're going to do. If they don't do the grand attack on Trump, then they might try to take the election. If they do that, and if they do neither, and he gets into office, well then everything I said was null and void. Right? But I just, like I said, have this bad feeling. And the further along in this election we get, the worse that feeling gets. So, anyway, guys, we have to wait and see what's going to happen. There's a lot of other shit that's being missed right now because we're all focused on this. So, I'm obviously going to be doing videos for the next week on those things that we missed. Especially something weird that is really getting scary. Because I'm looking at something, guys, and it has to do with people offing themselves, but it's the way they're doing it, and it's increasing. I've never seen so many people off themselves in the last 3 months like I have in my entire life. Something's up. It's connected to the arm ticket, but that's another video for another day. Anyway, guys, this is the Angry Prepper. Thank you for watching the Angry Truth channel.